In this video, we will show you where to go to search for clinical trials for various cancers, illnesses, and diseases, along with how to use the website. This is basic information. Please review our full medical disclaimer at the end of this video. Clinical trials are studies in which people volunteer to test new drugs, treatments, or devices. They use clinical trials to learn whether a new treatment works and is safe for humans. Since there currently is no cure for LMD and often treatments are limited, clinical trials may be the best option for LMD patients and give them first access to new treatments, procedures, and medications. While on a clinical trial, a patient is often more closely monitored and receives more frequent checkups and tests to monitor their disease status along with side effects. Participation and input may help other people in the future as well. However, there are risks associated with clinical trials. These risks vary depending on many factors, including the phase of the trial, the type of cancer or stage of progression, treatments prior to the trial, age, a KPS score of the patient, among other things. You will need to discuss all questions regarding a clinical trial with the doctor and/or nurse leading the trial. They may also be able to discuss if insurance coverage is needed to participate, organizations that may help with travel expenses if outside your local area, and other information you may need to know. There are 4 main phases of clinical trials. Before clinical trials get to humans, they have been tested in laboratories and with animal models. Phase 1 of a clinical trial is to find the safest tolerable dose without serious side effects. There are normally a small number of participants that are very closely monitored. Phase 2 occurs once Phase 1 establishes a safe dose. Phase 2 tries to establish if the drug works or its efficacy. Phase 3 occurs after Phase 1 and 2 to compare the effectiveness of this new drug against already existing standard treatments. Phase 4 typically occurs after the drug has been FDA approved or the treatment has been FDA approved, and it is to monitor continued safety, efficacy, and overall benefit and optimal use. To start your search for a clinical trial, go to clinicaltrials.gov. You will find an initial search screen. This website searches trials in the U.S. and many other countries. You start by searching for either all trials or just those trials that are recruiting participants. In the first search field, put a keyword. In this case, I'm searching by the word leptomeningeal. And then to narrow the search further, you can input another term in the second field. In this case, I input the word lung. Be careful about narrowing your search too far. Based on these parameters, it may exclude clinical trials that are not specific to lung cancer, which you might be eligible for. Here are the results for this search. In the center of the page, under the light blue bar running across the page, you will see it produced 15 results based on the parameters I set. This is to show you what the results page looks like, which gives you a general overview of the trials found. I will go over more detail of this later in the video. On the left, you will see more options to narrow the search further. Now let's try another search, but only using one term this time to see the difference in the number of results. This time I only put the term leptomeningeal. You can see this time it produced 75 results. But what am I looking for and how do I narrow this? On the left are filters to narrow the search results. The status shows you if a specific trial is recruiting, active, or completed. The study title will usually give you the basic info about the trial it is studying, the medical condition, and the drug or treatments being studied. To the far right is where the trial is taking place. This results page is a general overview. Once we get into the specific trial, you will be able to see more information. Once on the result page, if you want to filter the results for a specific trial status, you can use the filters on the left side of the screen. Put a check in the filters you wish to use and select Apply. You will see the results are still for leptomeningeal, but they have been reduced from 75 to 28. Now that you've narrowed your results to what you're looking for, you can scroll through the list of results and look at the overview of the trials. If you find something you want to take a closer look at, like number 5 on this screen, click on the underlined title of the trial. You are taken to that specific trial, which outlines more detail. At the top, you see the full title of this clinical trial. In the green box on the right, it is often recruiting status, dates, and contacts. If you click on the contacts, it will take you to various locations or contact people regarding this specific trial. On the left side, it shows the sponsor and/or collaborators. Below this is a brief summary of what the trial is seeking to determine. A clinical trial may have various groups they are studying at the same time. These groups are called arms. They may include different groups of patients with different stages of the disease, may be receiving different treatments, or different treatment combinations, just as a few examples. Below, it will explain the outcome measures outlined, what will be measured and monitored for the purpose of this study. As you move further down, you will come across the inclusion and exclusion criteria for this specific trial. Each trial may have different criteria. To get an idea of what type of participant they are looking for, you can read through this criteria. However, you should still contact the trial coordinator to confirm if you meet the eligibility criteria and what tests you will need to have completed at the trial center in order to see if you qualify. Below the exclusion criteria, there may again list the contact information and participating facilities for this specific trial. Below that, at the bottom of the page, there may also be additional information that the trial coordinator, sponsor, or facility feels is pertinent for you to know. One way to search for a trial is through a map function. Once you've put in your initial search criteria and your results have posted, you can click on the Map tab. It takes you to a map of the world showing where these trials are located. You can click on the country you wish and even the state if needed to narrow your search further. It will then pull up the trials in that area selected. We sincerely hope this brief video will help you navigate the clinicaltrials.gov website better to be able to find a clinical trial that might work for you. There will be links in the description box below of sites and references used for this video.